It started on an ordinary Tuesday morning, the kind where nothing feels out of place until the world starts unraveling thread by thread. My wife, Laura, had left for a short business trip to Charlotte the night before. She worked in client relations for a regional textile company and often traveled for 2 or 3 nights at a time. I stayed home, managed the kids, cooked, cleaned, and kept the home running. That was our rhythm, one we'd worn like second skin over 14 years of marriage. But something about this particular morning felt off. As I reached for her spare charger in the nightstand, I noticed a folded receipt peeking out from her drawer. It was from a local jewelry store, dated 2 days ago, and it listed a number that screamed out louder than any lie ever could. Jewelry wasn't uncommon in our lives, but this wasn't for me, and she hadn't mentioned any anniversaries or birthdays coming up. I paused, heart beating faster. Something didn't add up. And this was just the beginning. You might think this was just a misunderstanding, but what I found next obliterated everything I believed about our marriage. Later that afternoon, while doing laundry, I found a small piece of paper tucked into the pocket of one of her blouses. It was a handwritten note. "Thank you for last night. I've missed this. A." My fingers stiffened, frozen around the slip of betrayal. I sat on the edge of the bed trying to make sense of it. Was I overreacting? Was it a joke? But something in my gut told me, my wife cheated on me. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every little gesture from Laura, every time she came home late or glanced quickly at her phone, took on new meaning. I was drowning in doubt, yet desperate for clarity. But clarity didn't bring peace. It brought pain and betrayal. The next day, I did something I never imagined I'd do. I installed a location tracker on her phone. I hated myself for it, as if planting the tracker etched guilt into my very skin. But I needed to know the truth. While Laura said she was dining with clients that evening, the tracker pinged from an unfamiliar residential address, about 20 minutes from her hotel. It stayed there for over 3 hours. That was enough for me. I contacted a private investigator the next morning. I provided him her travel dates, hotel information, and the address from the tracker. He agreed to follow her discreetly. In the days that followed, I tried to performing fatherhood like a broken actor on stage. I cooked dinner, helped our daughter with her science project, and even kissed Laura goodnight, though I could barely look her in the eyes. It's strange how silence grows heavier when you know the truth is lurking right around the corner. The PI's report arrived 4 days later. I opened the envelope in my study, hands clammy and heart pounding. The photos were all the confirmation I needed. There she was, my wife, walking arm in arm with a man outside a steakhouse. Another image showed them kissing behind a parked car. The timestamp was 9:48 p.m., the same hour she had texted me, "Headed to bed, long day." I caught my wife cheating. It felt like the floor gave out beneath me. Every memory, every shared moment, every plan for the future, it all collapsed like a condemned building. But the worst part wasn't the act. It was the lies that made up the framework of our life. I confronted her the next morning. She denied it at first, cried, swore it was a moment of weakness. She said she was lonely and that I had become distant. She blamed the stress, the routine, the pressure. But I wasn't interested in reasons. I was interested in truth. I told her I had proof. She went silent. Then she whispered, "It was just once." Only it wasn't. The PI's report showed a pattern. Multiple meetings. Multiple men. This wasn't a mistake. It was a lifestyle. And now I had to decide. Do I walk away? Or do I fight to protect the life we built? Especially for our children. The cheating spouse always has a justification. They call it passion or escape, or even a cry for help. But all I saw was infidelity. I met with a divorce attorney that week. He explained that I could file under irreconcilable differences, And as the primary caregiver, I had a strong case for custody. I didn't want to take the kids away from their mother, but I couldn't let them be raised in a home built on betrayal. The hardest part wasn't filing the papers. It was watching my daughter ask, "Why is Mom crying so much lately?" I gave Laura the papers a week later. She didn't fight me. She knew. She moved out within 2 days. In the silence that followed, I found myself asking the same question again and again. Was I not enough? But that question doesn't help, because this wasn't about me. It was about her choices. The cheating wife, the infidelity, the secrecy. It was all her. When you're betrayed, your heart breaks twice. First for the love you lost, and then for the version of yourself that believed the lie. Weeks passed. I began rebuilding. I joined a local support group for men dealing with similar betrayals. I was shocked at how common it was. Story after story. My wife cheated on me, I caught my wife cheating. My cheating spouse ruined my life. We were all different men. But the pain, it was identical. I focused on the kids. I started journaling. I began running again, something I hadn't done in years. Slowly, I began to forgive. Not her, but myself. For not seeing the signs, for staying too long, for believing that love could fix everything. And one day, the silence in the house didn't feel so loud. It felt like peace. Laura occasionally calls. She says she misses the kids. I let them talk. I don't get in the way. But I no longer feel that old ache when I hear her voice. What I feel is freedom. She once said, "I don't know why I did it." I believe her. Sometimes even they don't know. But intention doesn't erase impact. A cheating wife doesn't just betray her partner. She betrays her family. I'm sharing this story because I know someone out there is in the middle of their own storm. You're wondering if you're imagining things. You're scared to dig. You want to believe it's not what it seems. But if you feel it in your gut, trust it. You're not crazy. You're just waking up. And when the truth comes, it'll hurt. But it will also set you free.